So, hi everyone, welcome to another Sunday of Fun Day reviews. And today I'll be reviewing 3 movies. And we'll start with a movie that I got to watch at a preview. Yes. And it is actually Anna Kendrick's new film, Woman of the Hour. Woman of the Hour says it's from 2023. It's directed by Anna Kendrick. It's starring Anna Kendrick and Daniel Zawalto, Tony Hale, and Nicolette Robinson. This is kind of based upon the experience that Cheryl had when she was on the dating game show, and she actually chose serial killer Rodney Alcala to be her date, to be the winner of the show, and kind of like the surrounding things around him and her. This is kind of based upon a real case where an actual serial killer went on a dating game show and won. So that is kind of crazy. I mean, I heard a lot about Rodney Alcala before this. So when she announced, or Anna Kendrick announced that she was doing this, I was like, oh, it's about the Rodney Alcala case, yeah. And yeah, it was. And I was curious to see like how she would kind of tackle and handle this. And I went to a preview with Andres this week, and I have to say that I think Anna Kendrick kind of handled it really, really well. I don't think she like made a spectacle out of it, or I even think she said that any profit she made, she was kind of uncomfortable with profiting of a movie about a serial killer, so she would donate like every profit, which was really amazing. And I think she handled it really well. Like she tackled the subject in a really good way. Because I was like, what can she possibly like write about a girl who went on a date with a serial killer, but then they never like went on a date? So what could she possibly do? And I think she handled that beautifully. Like the best thing I think about this film is kind of the tension. Like there's a lot of scenes where there's like no music, and there's just the tension of whatever the Rodney character is doing, and it is so intense without it showing like a lot. But I don't think like in this instance, in this type of movie, it doesn't have to show anything really. Like I am not bothered by lack of gore or anything, because it is based on a true kind of true story, very horrible one. So I will not be commenting on the gore or anything like that, because it feels, I don't know, it feels a bit disrespectful. But I think the story for the movie made the whole story justice. And just from the beginning, like right from the opening scene, it feels very intense. Especially if you kinda know about him being a serial killer before. And it is just crazy how he got away with it for so long. Like he was caught, but he got such lenient sentences and he was released, and it's crazy. Like what? I mean, for a serial killer to get on the dating game show, win a date with the female contestant, that's just insane. And apparently they were supposed to like go on a date and everything and be sent to a trip somewhere, but the female contestant, after meeting him, felt very uneasy about him. Like there was something weird, and she said, I will not be going anywhere with him. I wonder why. That must have been horrifying. Like when you meet someone and you're just feeling like no, 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 with your whole body and your whole mind. That has to be like very scary, very intense. And I think Anna Kendrick really showed this really well in this film. I really like the kind of course, it's 70s vibe because the dating game show, I think it's from 78. And yeah, the whole 70s vibe is really well. And she plays her character very, very well. Like she plays a character like how a lot of us feel. Like we want to make it as actors, but we never really get that big break. And we're just waiting for it. We have an agent, or I don't have an agent, but a lot of people have an agent. They're just waiting for the agent to send them something really well that will, you know, make them break through and have their big moment. And I think she portrayed this really well. And I just really, really appreciate it. I appreciate the kind of small details, like what is talked about in silence. So this movie doesn't like, it's not graphic, it doesn't show a lot, but it doesn't have to be. This movie, I honestly don't think the graphic or anything like gore or anything would suit this film as like anyway. So I think Anna Kendrick made the right decisions regarding to the direction she wanted to this film to go in. So yeah, I was very pleased with this, and I was happy that she treated the subject with the respect that it needs to be treated with. And I am kind of happy she made this film, and I liked watching the film. It kind of stays, the film kind of stayed with me for a while. I'm still thinking about the film, and I really liked the cinematography, I like the directing choices she made, and I'm happy she's starring in it because she really fit the character really well. What do I give this one? I'm giving it a 8 out of 10. So an 8 out of 10 to Woman of the Hour. And yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch it, please do. It is worth it. Okay, so moving on to the next film, and that is actually from my film festival that I just went to. I was in Örebro for the Light to Dark Film Festival, which actually screened my film, Body Manslaughter, twice. So went there. I made a lot of new friends. It was just an amazing experience. And I will show you some clips and some photos right now. But yeah, I had so much fun, and I get to see a lot and experience a lot from Örebro. I had been there like the year before for the first Winnie the Pooh when they screened it, and I was a moderator for a Q&A. And this time I was actually there as a filmmaker, you know, showing Body Manslaughter, and I had an amazing time. And yeah, I'm so happy that I went. So I just came home yesterday, and I'm still like reliving everything that happened, and I'm just so happy that my film Body Manslaughter got showed there. So thank you so much to Light to Dark. And we'll be talking about 2 movies that I saw there. So the first one is actually called The Timekeepers of Eternity. It is from 2021. It is directed by Antonellis, Margos, and Tom Holland. And this one is actually kind of a, if you've seen the Langoliers from Stephen King, it's like a 3-hour TV film, but this, they chose to focus on a character, Mr. Craig Tooney, and they cut this down to like 64 minutes, and they made it look like the film is made out of ripped paper, because the Craig Tooney character, he rips paper to calm him down. So they kind of made this film kind of experimental in that way. So they cut the Langoliers from 3 hours to 64 minutes with this technique. If you haven't seen the Langoliers, it's about like a certain amount of people, like a handful of people on a plane, and they are, you know, flying, and then suddenly a group of people just realize that they are the only ones left on the plane. Like, what happened to the other people? And they have to figure out what happened. I have to say that I think this film was really interesting. Like, it was very interesting to see it in this experimental way, actually. And I really like that. I think the pacing is way better than like 3-hour version, and like the editing is way better when you kind of cut it down to only 64 minutes, and you cut it down to the vital and essential points. And I just enjoyed watching it, and especially like the whole paper scenario, paper cinematography. And yeah, I kind of never got tired of it, but I was glad it wasn't 3 hours. But like 64 minutes in this kind of version and theme, it really works. And I was very fascinated, intrigued, and I was like, you It's not boring. It's fast paced. It moves the story forward. And I was really happy to watch it. So I think, this works really well. If you ever get a chance to watch this version, I would suggest you do, because I think it's better than the longer version, for sure. And it kind of, it's in black and white. I just think it makes much more of an impact. And I'm super happy. And I'm glad I got a chance to watch it at this festival. And, the length, I think is perfect. It kind of gets to the vital points in the story. And it just sacrifices the scenes that kind of drag on. It kind of tells this point from Craig Tooney's point of view. And I think this is just, it works better. But I haven't seen like the Langoliers in like the 3-hour version for a long time. But despite that, I feel this is a better version of it. And I'm just happy that I witnessed it. So, how much will this one get from me? I'm giving it a 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. Another good film. And we're moving on to the last film in this episode. So the last film is called Voidcaller. It's from 2024. It's directed by Nils Alatalo. It's starring R.B. Alvoy, Anders Fager, Sophie Folgart, and Isabel Grill, and Astrid Olofsson. So this is about people like waking up and they kind of suffer from amnesia. They have to figure out what happened because they all think they are linked by some sort of cosmic link between all of them, and they have to figure out what is going on. So this is another experimental film, and I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to watch this. And I mean, I have to say the cinematography is really amazing. Like, it's in black and white, and the cinematography just makes everything just look amazing. I'm still amazed at how good they made this film look, because it's just so good. My jaw dropped at a lot of scenes, and I was just so amazed. And also the actor, especially the main character, she is really good. I think everyone is really good, and I think everyone just understood the characters, the assignment. This is kind of a love letter to a lot of H.P. Lovecraft films. You can kind of see that. So that was very cool. And I think the dialogue works really well. It's both in like Swedish and English. And I think the mix works really well. And when I watched this, I got such a like bubbly, happy feeling. How it's like, experimental horror sci-fi films in Sweden. Like, there's not a lot, but we're getting there. And this is what it's about. It's like, it's so good. Like, you can do a lot with a low budget. And like, if you know what you're doing, you can make it look so good. And there were like many scenes where I was just like, wow, how did they do that? Like, everything works so well together. Cinematography, the actors, and the sound was really amazing. Like, the sound was just, I was like, wow, amazed. Plus the music, the locations, the environment. Yeah, so I mean, if you ever get the chance to watch Voidcaller, please do so. It's really an amazing film. And I'm so happy it's being played in a lot of festivals. What will this one get from me? I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, so 9 out of 10 to Voidcaller. I'm super happy that I got the chance to watch all of these movies, of course. And I had a lot of fun at the Light Till Dark Festival. And if you're a filmmaker, please submit your work to that festival. And yeah, I'm just happy to have like experienced that for the weekend and met all of these fantastic filmmakers. So thank you all so much for watching. Give this one a like, and maybe write like a comment like Swedish indie horror film, yay, or something, just for the algorithm, of course. And subscribe if you haven't. And I'll be here next Sunday with another episode. So yeah, see you next Sunday.